Hey everyone, what's poppin', what's tea? It's your girl Spicy Niche, and we are here today to talk about none other than Casa de Novia. Now, this film just debuted on Prime last Friday, so let's get right into it. Casa de Novia, in essence, is a murder mystery. So the main character, Yo-Yo, thinks she has made it when she finds this mansion that's going for $600K. Little does she know that that mansion used to belong to Afosa, who to the general public is missing, but he is actually dead. So Ifosa's ghost still resides within the residence and scares Yo-Yo. Now, at first she's afraid, but then they become friends. Now, Yo-Yo is a journalist, and the reason for the move was because she was so far away from her workplace that she was always late, and she was kind of on her last leg with her boss. Now, with that being said, Ifosa's story is what she uses to kind of journal and publicize and become this big time journalist, because like I said, to the general public, he's been missing for 3 years. And throughout this film, we uncover the story of Afosa and what happened to him. Now, this review is going to have spoilers, just fair warning. So if you haven't watched it, go back, watch the film, and then come back to this review. If you are new here, welcome. I do rate my movies using 5 criteria, which I will put on the side of the screen so you can see what those criteria entail. And the first thing is going to be plot and storyline. Now, surprisingly, I really did like the entire plot and storyline majority of the time. Now, I feel like the plot was very clear. This is a murder mystery. Ifosa has gone missing, and then they did throw some little twist in with his brother, Isosa, I believe, who, throughout the film, we think he's the one who did it. Like, I genuinely thought, okay, Isosa's done it. But I wasn't too sure about Melina as well, because there was just a very, eerie vagueness about the whole Melina story that I was like, did Melina do it? Honestly, let me tell you guys what I thought. I thought that Isosa and Melina were together and they both plotted to kill him. I genuinely thought that was the storyline. Meanwhile, Isosa had nothing to do with it, and it was Melina all along. That was an interesting twist. Now, what I don't like sometimes in films is how they like to work backwards. They will give you the entire story in the beginning, and then at the end, they will give you the backstory. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't necessarily work for this film, because I can understand them not wanting to create a lot more filming by giving us the backstory. But even then, they had already filmed some scenes for the backstory. So I feel like I like to see the whole picture. So I would have appreciated if they gave us the backstory in the beginning or even in the middle, as opposed to giving it to us at the end, which is Melina's sister had got pregnant for Ifosa, and I guess because Melina wasn't happy, her sister took some sort of medication and ended up dying, and this is Melina's revenge. You know what I mean? I feel like there was still a little bit of gray area in that story for some reasons. Like, I don't know, something about it just was a little bit off. Like, if they would have given us more backstory on Ifosa being this womanizer, or like how all this came about, I don't know. I feel like I needed a little bit more backstory to Melina's villain story in this film, me personally. If you are new here, each category gets 1 star each, totaling up to 5 stars. And for this particular category, plot and storyline, I give them a 0.6 out of 1, just because I feel like there were still some gaps in the storyline. Like, I understand Isosa's, the brothers, disdain for his brother, being that his mom always held him up. But like, I really don't understand his villain story. You know what I mean? And I just feel like his brother was the one taken into custody because he's the one who ended up hiding the body, right? Cool. But now that Melina is, confessing that she's the one who killed Ifosa, why wasn't she taken into custody? Like, why was there no video, Yo-Yo taking a video, none of that, no repercussions. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it ended off a bit off. But I'm still left with questions. Did Melina get taken in? Did Isosa get let out? I mean, he was wrong for hiding the body. He should have just called the ambulance or something. At least then they could have done an autopsy and figured out what was the issue. Not to mention Femi, the journalist who was trying to use Yo-Yo and it was also working for another team. What happened to him? Did he get fired? Like, we just stopped seeing him throughout the film, you know. So because of that, I give them a 0.6 out of 1 star for plot and storyline. My second category is acting and performances. The actor who played Yo-Yo, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I think it's Anne, I think. But she did a very, very good job. I'm really happy to see her, you know, playing a lead role, because most of the time I see her in film, she's a sidekick, and I feel like she really embodied it. Now, if I'm saying her name wrong, please do not butcher me in the comments. I tried to look everywhere for some sort of interview where she was like introducing herself so I could get the right pronunciation and could not find any. But nonetheless, I think she did a really, really good job playing the character Yo-Yo. I feel like she embodied it. I was really excited to see her in a leading role. So she gets 10 out of 10 for me for her acting in this film. Now, the character who played Ifosa and Isosa, Taye, I remember him from Game On. Like, I was really into the first season of Game On, and I just kind of stopped watching it. But Taye did a really good job acting as Ifosa and Isosa. You know, he really embodied both of the roles and played the two characters very good, being that, you know, Ifosa is this pleasant gentleman and Isosa is just tyrant, out of control person. He really did an amazing job embodying the role. So I would give him as well 10 out of 10 in his acting for this film. Now, Tawa, aka Lizzie Joy, I want to see her do something else. I really would like to see her in another role. She did a good job in this role. I'm not saying she did a bad job, but like, I feel like she's always playing the same kind of role, which I don't feel like, to me, in my opinion, will ever lead her to be the leading actress in a movie role. Like, all this kind of role that she used to play just used to tire me. Like, it's always this aloof, like, I don't know, maybe, like, I mean, on her Instagram, that's what she portrays, but, you know, like, I just don't feel like that is going to help to propel her career to a movie where she is the leading actor. But nonetheless, she did a good job, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, Melina, aka Fa, her acting was alright. It was alright to me. I mean, I don't know, I've never really been wowed by her acting. Even when she was the leading actress in Devil Wears Agbada, which was a horrible movie. Horrible movie. Like, I've just never been impressed, you know? I mean, she did all right in this role. I don't have too much to say. I'm not gonna run through every single actor in this film and what I think, but for acting and performances, just as an overall whole, I will again give them 0.6 out of 1 star for this category. Now for cinematography. Where do I want to start from with the cinematography of this film? Where do I want to start from with the cinematography? First of all, let's talk about Ifosa and Melina in that museum. Is it just me, or did it look like they were on a green screen? Do you, like, you know how green screens, they have like this cloud effect on them? That's exactly what it looked like. It looked like they were in a green screen. I did not like that. Did not like that at all. I honestly, Nollywood did try. I think they tried with having Ifosa as the ghost in the mirror. I think that was nice. I think they did a good job of displaying that. I mean, I'm not really too mad. I'm not really too mad. I feel like Nollywood, they tried in this film with having the ghost and all the chandelier drop, like all the ropes and things. I feel like they tried. So for cinematography, although I feel like there were definitely some places that, you know, the cinematography was really not that great, I'll give them a 0.5 out of 1 star for cinematography. My next category is entertainment value and engagement. I really enjoyed this film. I really feel like I was entertained the entire time. And honestly, it's been a long time since a film has been able to keep my full attention, and this film did just that. I feel like Yo-Yo did a really good job portraying this character. She had me laughing. Ifosa was witty, you know, all the characters did a really good job in this film. Tawa, Lizzie Joy did her thing as well. SODK, aka Femi, did his thing as well. So for entertainment value and engagement, I really do think that they did a really good job. And for that, I'm going to give them a 0.8 out of 1. Because yeah, like, you guys have been seeing me butcher films on here, and this was surprisingly one that really kept my engagement. So 0.8 out of 1 for that category. Now for my last category, theme and message. Surprisingly, there was a lot to take away from this film. Surprisingly. Like for example, Yo-Yo, listen, if somebody is selling you 600K mansion in this economy, just know that place has problems. Something has happened in that place. If it's too good to be true, it typically is, you know. So I would say that's one of the themes and messages that, you know, could be taken away from this film. Also, like, what's meant for you will always come to you. For example, in the beginning of the film, you know, Yo-Yo wasn't interested in Ansel. You know, she was trying to go after Femi. Later, did she realize that Femi was using her? You know, so I say all that to say, what is meant for you will truly, you know, come to you. And, you know, Ansel and her were meant to date, and they eventually found themselves together. Also, for Ifosa, there's a lesson for you too in this film. Is that, like, your past ways can come back to haunt you. Your past ways can come back to haunt you. Be careful, you know, what you do in this life. Because if Ifosa was not going through this womanizer era of his life, you know, he would have never been dead, because Melina would have never, like, he would never got Melina's sister pregnant and all this. That led to the whole thing. So yeah, just being careful about the decisions that you make, because you don't know the repercussions of tomorrow. Now, it's not Fosa's fault because he didn't know that Melina's sister got pregnant, but it is his fault that he didn't use protection and in fact got her pregnant, which led to this whole, you know, outburst. So yeah, I think there were a lot of messages that could be taken away in this film, even just with Yo-Yo being the underdog. Basically, the underdog will soon rise. There's a lot of little messages, So I give them a 0.7 out of 1 for theme and message. With all that being said, I give this film a 3.2 out of 5 stars. I think that's fair. I think there were some things that could have been developed more. I think the cinematography could have been a little bit better. How did I forget? The cinematography, the way they scaled the film wasn't in full screen mode. Had I remembered that when I was doing the rating, I would have taken points off for that, because it wasn't like there was a black bar on top, black bar on the bottom. Like, it wasn't in full screen. But anyways, then I guess, now that being in my mind, I would instead give them a 3 out of 5, because, like, it should have been full screen. Like, this is not yesteryears of Nollywood where we do blocky, and even then, it's still full screen. Most Nollywood films are in full screen. So there was just some resizing that needed to happen. So with me remembering that now, I give them a 3 out of 5, which I genuinely do think is fair. But you guys let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let me know if you disagree with some of the things that I said or agree with some of the things that I said. Yeah, but all in all, overall, I really did enjoy this film. I definitely think that is one that I would recommend that you guys go check out. It was pretty interesting. The storyline had twists and turns. There was an outcome that, you know, we weren't expecting. So yeah, it's definitely a good murder mystery, and I really do feel like they did try for the cinematography in certain parts, like with the ghosts and all that, but other things were kind of like, why does it always look like somebody's in like green screen mode where there's like this cloud around, like, but nonetheless, definitely recommend that you guys go check it out. Now, I don't know if this is something that I would watch more than once. I think it was just, I was in the mood to watch it yesterday, and so I watched it, and it was what I needed at that particular time. But I understand if you guys think that it should be rated less or you didn't really care for it. But yeah, Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in my next video.